In this video, let's focus on establishing the relationships between these entities. Now I have all the entities which we created in the previous videos. Now let's say, as per our diagram, so our first job is to, let's say, hook up the priest and distribution. So let's see how to do that. So I'll create a property called distributions. Okay. Remember, a priest can have several distributions. Now, before we move further, let's see what this virtual word does and why we are using iCollection instead of list. We are using iCollection here because in the constructor, when we actually want to instantiate this, we would have an option either to create a list or a hash set. Say, I'll say CTOR. This is a short form to create a constructor, and I'll say distributions is equal to new. I could say list of hash sets. List of distributions, but what I'll do is I'll say hash set of distribution. Now, a hash set is very similar to a list, but with the exception that it will not let you add duplicate instances in the list. Now, this is more of a safety feature. From the user interface code or from the middleware, it will just prevent you from sending duplicate entries all the way until database. Now, this is a very unlikely situation, but more of a safety feature. Now, this can happen, especially if this collection is being manipulated through a long piece of code. Then you just want to ensure that you don't end up creating two instances with similar values, meaning two distribution instances with similar values, and thereby create problems. Because in the database, remember, you can't have two instances of distribution with all the similar IDs and everything. So generally, as a safety feature, we just go with hash set. So that will prevent you from having two instances of this distribution. Next, why did we have this constructor itself in the first place? I could have just, in order to establish a relationship between priest and distribution, it would have been sufficient if I created this distributions. Why did I have a constructor and even instantiate it? Now, I could still go ahead with this approach of without constructor, but in most of the queries, when we are writing link queries, and when we are trying to access priest.distributions, we'll have to carefully check whether this is null and only then proceed with the remaining part of the query. So doing so every time is little tedious and doesn't look standard. So for that purpose, we actually create a list. So thereon, we don't have to really check for nulls later in any of the queries. So I'll bring this discussion again once we get to the querying part. And coming to virtual. This virtual keyword is required for entity framework to understand that this property called distributions is not simply any other property. It is actually meant for lazy loading. I'm sure you guys remember the previous discussion we had on lazy loading and eager loading. If I do not put this virtual, what happens? It will still work, but when you run this application and start querying, at any instance, if you just say a given priest, let's say context.priest.first.distributions, you'll see that the distributions of the priest are not loaded. So this could be true for any other navigation entity. If you want the associated or the navigatable entity also to be available through this entity, then we need to have this virtual keyword. You can just remove it and see that associations properties will be present, but if you navigate to it, it will simply be null. So this is more of a convention to let entity framework know that actually this is my related entity and I want you to be able to let me load this data when I query for priest. And the same applies for all the other attributes which we will be discussing shortly. And if you see the conventions I've used here, whenever you have something like ID, by convention, that will be assumed as a primary key for this particular entity. Now this is what is called conventions. So you can either go by conventions, or when conventions do not imply what you want to, or if you want to deviate away from conventions, you can go with configurations. So we'll see. There are times where we'll have to go with configurations as well. So right now, ID here would automatically imply to the entity framework when it builds, when it starts generating the database creation queries. Entity framework will figure out that this is the primary key and we don't have to explicitly say anything for it. Similarly, it also knows that a priest can have several distributions. So from the distribution side, we will have a reference to priest as well. We'll look into it in a while. So for distributions, if we take a look at the ER diagram we have, now we have to link the distribution to priest. So what we'll do there, we'll get to distribution and I'll say priest, and this will be distribution. I'm sorry, this will be priest, right? And since it's a navigation property, I would want to make it virtual. So that forms the other side of the relationship. So now you can see this. We were successful in associating the priest and distribution. Now comes the question of, should we include a property called priest ID? But then we just told the entity framework that a distribution is related to a priest. Is that not sufficient? Should we go ahead and include something like this? Is this required? Now if you think about it, even if you do not include this, entity framework knows that a priest, or rather a distribution, is related to a priest when you just do this. And the only way it can achieve that in a database is to go ahead and create a column which will have the ID of the corresponding priest. There is no way a database can understand association between two entities without such an arrangement. So at this point of time, even if you complete this example and run the application and have it generate the database for you, you will be able to see that entity framework has automatically created a column called priest ID, or it would be something like this, priest underscore ID, even though we don't have this in the entity here. And it would have also made it a foreign key to priest. But I strongly suggest that we go ahead and include this also. Now you might think, we're actually violating with the entity framework objectives. Remember, we thought about the entity framework as kind of a database agnostic way of implementing things. We just wanted to deal with objects and entities. We should not be worrying about keys and foreign keys. But all said and done, having a foreign key property explicitly mentioned like this. Now, even when you do this, entity framework will figure out that priest is the name of an entity and ID again will be the name of its foreign key. So clearly it will figure out that you meant to create a column which was actually referring to the priest's ID. So this is all happening by convention because of the way you have chose to pick up these names, priest and ID. So this is what is being determined by convention. So instead of it going and creating a priest ID column or priest underscore ID column by itself, it just uses our convention and still has the same effect. So technically it still has the same effect. Then why did we do this? We did this for a very important reason, that once you have this ID column in a particular entity, it gives you a lot of flexibility. I could start associating a distribution object later on in the application to a priest object just by supplying this ID. I don't even need to have this priest object in order to establish a relationship between distribution and priest. All I need to have is a priest ID. If I just say, let's say for example, distribution.priestid equals 1, automatically this distribution will be associated with whoever priest is there with the ID 1. We'll also see this in action once we start querying it. So next, let me just go ahead and do this kind of association with all the other entities, just the way it is there in our diagram. So once I have formed the relationships between the entities, it looks like this. Let me just scroll you through. Distribution entity, and in most of the places I have chose to include this foreign key explicitly, and in some places I have not. And just notice in this distribution detail, we do not have a primary key like we did before. We'll talk about that in detail. The Prasadam type, so we should make sure that all the entities are linked from both ends, Prasadam to Prasadam type and Prasadam type to Prasadam. Similarly, responsibility, and vehicle. So we'll continue this discussion in the next video.